and you can quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. Yeah, yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
I set the bar really low at the NBA predictions.
I don't think all Mavs fans look into the stats like I do.
It's not the great value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I don't know if Nick Nurse is the coach for the Raptors. I don't know if he's the reason why they won the 2019 championship. I feel like that was more of a team effort.
The Mavs cannot say we do not miss Seth Curry shooting threes.
This questions the firing of Dwayne Casey, who I think is a very underrated coach.
To me, the Capitals really pushed all their chips for this season.
Hello, I'm Mike Grimes, and you've been listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. And Austin, this is an idea that I mentioned to you because I was just looking at Twitter, kind of seeing the schedule releases, and probably every other post I was seeing, it was like, okay, international game. Like, teams are playing in Paris now. Of course, the Cowboys are going to Rio, which I think has been like a constant. And it just the thought occurred to me, this maybe feels like a little bit too much international games to fit into the NFL regular season.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I do think there definitely is a lot of international games, and whether that's a positive or not, I think that's a wait and see sort of organizational thing for the NFL and the owners to really decide. I do really wonder, though, is if there's any extra injury concerns for having long travel, whether it's there or back the next game they play. I know that these usually coincide with bye weeks, but sometimes they don't. I think the London game will always be there, especially because there's some teams that play back-to-back weeks in London. I mean, I've seen that before. I don't think it's too many games internationally. I think the bigger question for the NFL, because Goodell's always put this out there, is will the NFL expand outside the U.S.? I guess eventually it is an inevitability, but now I don't think it'll ever be overseas, though. I think we could see a team in Mexico, and I think we could see a team in Toronto. But outside of those two cities, I really can't see anything outside of that.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about it too. It's more you have that idea of like, I get international growing the game, but to me, maybe you can do one or two and then you put it with the bye week. When you have so many multiple teams doing it, to me, that makes it difficult to kind of sync up those bye weeks and deal with that. And placing them I don't think there will be injuries, but it's more a quality of play. Guys are going to be tired. That could lead to injuries. And I get they're trying to do international. I agree Mexico and Canada could work, but London, how I would do it is kind of what we've seen the NBA float is just you put a league over there. And maybe that's your spring football league. And you just put them in international games and it's like, okay, here, and you kind of build your own team that way.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happen, but I think the NFL will lose too much money in that sort of situation. Sure, there'll be some ingenuity there because, I mean, there's not a lot of football in that area of the world. Sure, there's rugby, but outside of that, it really is a smaller market for or competitive market for the NFL. But I do still think that there is not the best situation regarding the NFL wants to make as much money as possible. And with that in mind, it's harder to prioritize having a new organization or new league over there because it's not, you're not going to pay as much to go to an NFL or a spring football league as you will an NFL game.
Yeah, you make a good point. And they, to me, had some success. I was reading about it. They used to kind of send guys, it was a developmental league and just kind of all over different places. But to me, the concern is doing it during the NFL season. I think I know you can do it a little bit every now and then, but if you really want to grow the game internationally, I just can't see putting an NFL team there full time because how will the home and away games work for that?
Yeah, I don't know. I could see them extending the length or maybe another bye week. I've seen that be floated around where they add another bye week. They don't add another game, but they add another bye week to extend the length of the season. But I don't know how likely that is.
I'd be okay with that because that way it helps. Because it's just, to me, it's hard for me to get over that whole idea of what does a team do and deal with that kind of what it does, what it means traveling internationally and then playing a top team like that. I've never traveled it internationally, but I can't imagine doing that and then also learning plays, getting the right amount of sleep, and doing everything that needs to be done for a team to win on Sundays.
Yeah, that's true. And I really do wonder if the league will consider having a lot more of these games or not, or have we reached the peak amount of games overseas or not? I think is a question that the NFL is going to have to answer quickly.
I would say this is the peak. Like, I can't see any more games more than what this to me even feels like too much.
I get that.
So, and yeah, I think it also, another small part, you talk about growing the games internationally, but it places high pressure on the games here because there's a limited amount of games in the afternoon. I think that's been my biggest gripe when you have games on Sunday, Saturday, even Friday. It's like, okay, well, this game between the Broncos and Titans is a dud. And that's the nationally televised game.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So I'm more on the negative side of it because I think it's more money and it's really hard to get all of that going. So it's hard for me to kind of see everything.
I get that. I think I'm a little bit more positive towards it because again, they're just trying to grow the game. I don't think I've seen any proof that it does increase the injury concerns for players. I think if that was a concern, then I may have some pushback against it. But until we see findings that those games do cause an increase in injuries, I don't think I have too much concerns with it.
Yeah, and so we'll just have to see what happens next season. We appreciate you listening. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.